Good morning. Buenos dias. Bienvenue. Guten Tag? Is that another one? I think it is. I know it's been a while since I have created a video. I think it's actually been a year. It's just not my jam. But I did want to spitball about something that I have talked about recently because I've been asked about it a couple of times, and I am all about a definitional moment. So, for those who haven't seen the previous videos, I am an impact architect. I basically help founders, movement leaders, movements, organizations connect the dots from their visions of impact to reality through a design strategy and legal practice that I have. And one of the things that I do really the crux of what I do is making sure that founders, institutions, organizations, movements are creating projects that are authentic to themselves. And as part of this journey of understanding what that looks like and what that process is, one of the things that I talk about quite a bit is rewilding. I've been reading Untamed, finally. I'm a big fan of Glennon Doyle's. Um, and mentioned in an Instagram post that I am reading any and everything that I can about rewilding and have had people ask, what is that? So, biomimicry, basically looking to Mother Nature to see what lessons we can take away since, she's been around for billions of years and kind of did pretty well without us, is one of the things that I love to read about and learn about and explore. And so I subscribe to this magazine called Permaculture. As you can see, I annotate because that's what I do. And one of the early magazine issues that I read talked about rewilding, actually, because I have my annotations, can find that for you. And it was rewilding the land and ourselves. And it was fascinating. It was language that I had been looking for. And basically, she talks about this process of buying this farm and what it looks like to take a land that has been tamed and domesticated and extracted from and just beaten down and allowing it to return to its native self. So taking out the fence posts and what that looks like and what it looks like to re-diversify the ecology and to support native plants and things of that nature. And so this concept of what it looks like to remove the boundaries, the fence posts, so to speak, from our lives is one that's really salient for me because when we talk about how do you create something that is authentic to you, that honors your story, your community story, your culture, your history, your wants, your challenges, your strengths, that requires that you build from a place of you. And what typically happens is I come across folks, and I have done this myself, who build from a place of who we should be, what we should be doing, who we have been told we are. And and so people come to me because they're running businesses they can't stand. The businesses aren't having the impact that they wanted to have. The intervention in the community isn't resonating and they're wondering why. And one of the things that I do is I have questions that I ask about the people that I'm working with. And I know they think I'm nuts because I ask about hobbies and interests and passions. And without fail, when I look through that list of things that make them them, the things that make their community, none of it appears in their projects. And it's like, well, no wonder. You have a business you don't like. You're not doing anything you like in the business. So how do we integrate the wholeness that is you into the thing that you are doing to create the legacy of who you are and were meant to be? That requires, again, that we unearth who you were before you were told who you needed to be. So that we can build from a really solid foundation of you and not a should. So if you haven't looked into rewilding, looking at how we untame, we do away with the domestication, the expectations, the shoulds, the rights, the wrongs, the goods, the bads, how we get back to who we are at our essence is the work. Because if we don't do that, then anything we do will be coming from a place of inauthenticity. And it's always going to feel incongruent, and there's always going to be tension. And this doesn't just apply. I get so excited I talk fast. This doesn't just apply to my business owners and my movement leaders. If you're working in corporate, if you're working for a startup and things just aren't feeling like they're jiving and you don't understand because this should be your dream job or this should be your dream work and it's just not, that may be what it is. It could be your dream work and just maybe the way you're doing it is the way you think you should be doing it. Or it could be you're doing the work you think you should want to do, which was the case for myself when I went in-house. So permaculture, it's issue winter 2019. That feels like it was 30 years ago. And she actually has a book on rewilding. Kara Moses is her name. She has a website, rewildeverything.org. And I saved the book. I don't see, or maybe it's not her. There's a book that chronicles someone else's journey of this that is in my Goodreads list of 300 books that I need to read. So we will hopefully get to that. But that's basically what I'm talking about when I talk about rewilding. So hopefully that's been helpful. If you have projects that you are doing in which you are working to have a specific impact and things aren't clicking into place, then you might look at some of that self-reflective work of making sure that you are coming from a place of who you truly are and not who you think you should